This is Bodo, 9:30 in the morning. I was going to pick up my rented car. Nobody around, really quiet. Only noises coming from that building site there. Other than that, as I said, it was quiet. That's the way it is all the time. I don't know what happens in this town normally. Rented a car, thought I was getting a Golf or a Fiesta. Got a Volvo V890, super duper car altogether. Took a drive down the coast. This is the road, the main road into Boda from the south. No traffic, beautiful scenery. That's the edge of the fjord there leading up to Boda. Mountains. It was a bit grey the day I had the car, so the pictures are a little bit on the grey side, but beautiful countryside. Drove down this road about 15 or 20 kilometres, then found a side road and turned off that, and then found another road that had grass in the middle of it, and that was the one I kind of chose. So, and I ended up at a beautiful community of a couple of little houses by the side of the sea, and a little ferry, a little pier, and a couple of boats, and that seems to be it. As you can see along here, nothing, no habitation whatsoever. Arrived at this beautiful little community at the end of a really narrow road, and as you can see, it's mostly fishing boats and little craft. A lot of the buildings on the side of the water are on stilts, ramped down. Boat yard, it really is one of those places that all the skills, all the trades are there, and it just smells of seaweed and sea. Really, really lovely place. So glad I found it. Um, and the buildings are all immaculate. Everybody really looks after their buildings. If they don't, I guess the elements take care of it in a very short space of time. So very house proud people. Back in Bodo that evening, town is still as quiet as ever, but that's the way it is. Down the end of this street, Glass House, I think it's called, is the shopping centre, Burger King, which is where I was able to afford to eat. This is the entrance to the Norwegian Aviation Museum. A really impressive entrance up a long gangplank. Inside the Aviation Museum, a lovely little cafe, a cup of coffee. This building is purpose built. It's actually the Norwegian Aviation Museum. It's huge, apparently it's one of the biggest in Europe, and it's way out here in the city of Boda, which is a long way from anywhere, but they won the competition to have the museum placed here. That's why the town has a good airport as well, I suppose that's the reason. But it's a beautiful building, lovely and bright. Staff so far are really friendly. Carol lent me 10 kroner to stick in the locker so I could stash my bag for the day. I can give it back to her when I'm finished. Isn't that so friendly? You wouldn't get that in Dublin. So bought a waffle, thought I was buying one waffle, and I got a whole plate of the damn things. I'm going to have to get a doggy bag now for half of them, and then start to mooch around. So talk later. Well, if you're going to put an airplane into a museum, I think this is the way to do it. It's just sitting here, can't see what's holding it up. I'm sure there's a big lump of steel somewhere, but very impressive entrance. course it has a creche. Beautiful place. What a beautiful exhibition. Showing a workshop making wings, fabric wings, sticking an engine onto a wooden frame, man making up the frame there, and down the end I think there's a man covering the wings. That's lovely. It's a Renault. It's an air-cooled V12 overhead valves, push rods. Only see one valve per cylinder. Might have a sliding sleeve for the inlet valve or the exhaust valve, I'm not sure which. Two magnetos, one for each bank. Spark plugs in the middle. Amazing looking spark plugs. Never seen anything like them before. Looks like they've got cooling fins on them as well. The inlet ports are on the side of the cylinder, so it looks like a kind of a half two-stroke, half four-stroke system. Fuel air is drawn in through the vacuum of the cylinder when the piston descends, and then it's exhausted after the combustion stroke with a normal exhaust valve. The manifold is beautiful soldered copper. You know, it's a plumber's dream if you can see it. There's a beautiful joint there. This is one of the mock-ups of a plane crash. It's very similar to the real size thing down below us. And here's another one here. Lovely. This is what happens to a propeller when it hits the ground, a wooden propeller that is. It looks like we're back to ejector seats again. They seem to focus an awful lot in aviation, in military aviation. As one type. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a sonar buoy. Floats in the water. If you look right down, has a microphone hanging on the end of a cord, and it listens to what's going on underneath the water and sends the signals back home. It looks like a SAM. No, it's not a SAM, but it looks like some kind of guided missile thing. When you get close to it, it's very, very familiar kind of technology. A bunch of screws holding it together and line your slots up to lock. I guess this is for locking that wing on. I don't know. I can't see any other reason, so they're probably stored with the wings flat packed in a box made by IKEA. Finished my day in the aviation museum and went back to the station. Had a couple of hours to spare before the train left, so went up to the restaurant and had a burger and chips and a carton of Coke and a coffee. Very nice, very expensive, but at least I was stocked up for the night on the train, which was the main thing.